I say at that, let us begin Moneymaker. Another Unity game. Awesome. Unity games can fun. So this no fanfare, no nothing. This one I heard I understand this has sound effects. So if I understand also correctly, I click this and this begins my money. Hey, did you hear that? I'm rich. What a way to become rich. All right, so what do we got? We've got this button here. 17 bucks in lifetime money. Printer, banks, factories, mines, treasuries, agencies, extractors, infusers, morphers, and matrix machines. Those seem to be the producers. We just have raw achievements here. I can't really click anything. And something coming soon. Perhaps boosts? Hard to say. What's this? The shop. Okay, this is where I purchase things. Hey! So if we click 3 more times, we can get a printer. Right? Boom. And the printer offers us $1 a second. How'd you like to make $1 a second? That sounds amazing, right? So what's this? These are upgrades. 100. Oh, it costs 100 RP. Okay, so I feel like 50,000 RP. Is that it? Like, do we only need to get to like several hundred thousand RP and we can get all of the upgrades? Because I feel like that's the goal of this game is to get all the upgrades. From what I understand. Not sure what that is. So printers are 26 bucks now. Oh, so I can buy another printer. Boom. Whoa. Two per second. Nice. Which means we can get another one here in just a second. Boom. We're up to 3 a second. And of course, clicking is always an option, right? Because that's the original, right? It's originally called a clicker game. So we want to do... Oh, whoa, look, this is filling up right here. I wonder if this is an RP growing or something. What we want to do is we want to go for a bank. 250 for a bank. Let's go for a bank next. I bet a bank is exponentially more powerful than a printer. All right, here we go. One bank, please. Oh, it's 5 a second. It says right there. Factories are 12. Mines are 45. Treasuries are 300, 1200, 6500, 32,000, and 200,000, and 1.1 million. All right, so how much would be most efficient? Factory? No, I think a bank is still the most efficient thing. It's a toss-up between the printer and the bank on what's the most efficient. But now, yeah, the bank is still more efficient than the... This is the point where I probably could stop clicking unless I boost my clicker, right? I need... Oh, I have 2 RP. No. I have 250 RP, right? Oh, okay, so RP doesn't come in ones. I thought that would come in like I'd get 1. No, we got 250 for the first level, first tier. Fixed clicker power by $1. Doubles printer efficiency. So, yeah, $2. Now it is worth clicking, right? Yeah, that's right. Need to get to 1200 to get that, what is it we're getting? Oh, 1400 for a factory. I know it's not as efficient, but I'm going for it because it's shiny and new and awesome. I don't know, maybe we complete this game in one shot and then we don't have to actually have it as an idle. 12 bucks a second. Yeah. It's significantly more efficient to have a factory than it is to have a mine. Incredibly more efficient to boost, to double up on the factories. We're about to hit more RP because we're about to hit tier 3 in our RP. Let's see what happens when that happens. Is it just 250? Nope, it was 300. Double the printer efficiencies. More clicker power. More clicker power. This is percentile of clicker power. So down this side is clickability. Down this side is automation. A printer just increases production. Double the bank, double the factory, double the mine, double treasury efficiency. Double infuser, double the matrix. Yeah, so it's all just either clickability or automation. So it's not a whole lot to it, which that's one of the things I did read, is that this game does not offer a ton of variety. It's pretty bare bones. I do agree with them in that assessment. There are loot boxes. Ooh. Did that cost me RP? See, what? Huh? 10? 10 what? What is the Chaos Emerald looking thing at the lower right with the 11 next to it? Yeah, this seems to be the emerald. Let's call them diamonds, right? I don't know. Diamonds? Topazes? It's this loot box thing right here. It buys me a loot box. Oh, that was a free one. I get one free one every day. But you can pay 10 to buy a loot box, which I would imagine that, well, even though it's inefficient, let's buy the mine. Boom, boom. Now it's a waste of time to click the mouse. There's no way the mouse is worth clicking at this stage. Let's get this. And then when we get more RP, we'll start doubling our stuff. We'll just go down this tree. It's just double everything. And then boost that. Yeah, 2 is nothing, right? Like, 11% of our production. Oh, we hit more RP. So now we can double the power of our banks. Boom. I wish it showed the amount of money per second you were making, like off to the side here or somewhere. Ooh, what is this? Dark mode? No volume. Oh. Look at this restart button so blatantly right here. It makes me wonder if the game is quick to complete. Which, like I said, we very may well finish this in short order if there's really not a lot to it. Oh, there it is. It shows it right here. $246 a second. I don't know how to obtain these emeralds. Do we get them just by purchasing RP things? Like, when we purchase an upgrade, does it just give us a few or something? I don't know. I haven't noticed. I want to save up for a mine, though. Yeah, the mine is most efficient, I think, at this moment. And now the factory, I think, becomes more efficient. Oh, these banks are significantly efficient, though, because I doubled them. And the printers themselves are arguably... So it's going to jump back and forth between the things I've doubled, I feel. But getting RP is kind of slow. And I don't say that in a bad way. I say that in just a matter-of-fact way. So yeah, it's like there's not much I can really do to advance this any quicker, because my clickability is pretty paltry. I think the banks are the most efficient, but not by far. I probably bounce back and forth between the bank and the factory here. Well, actually, the mine, I think at this point, the mine might be best. The visuals are okay. Oh, am I not able to? Okay, there we go. The visuals are okay, but there's nothing to entertain the eyes or to discuss or anything. Like, it's just kind of a waiting game. But I do have these loot boxes that can advance me a bit, but I feel like I should wait on them. And then once I reach a certain point, like I feel like these loot boxes are based on your progress. It may be based on this level here, like this 7 powers up the loot box. So the longer I'm willing to be patient, the more powerful each of my loot boxes will become when I decide to open them. Because I doubt that if you save them up and you have extractors and then you open it and it's like you got $2,000, like what I did or whatever. It's like, well, I guess I didn't have to wait. I should have opened it sooner, right? But I don't think it's that case. I think it's based on your progress here. Let's go for another mine because I'm so close to one anyway. This will increase my production over 10%. And boom. There aren't a lot of sounds. Like, it's just some kind of like page turn sound effect every time you click this. It's not even a coin or anything. It looks like a coin, but is it a button? Maybe it's a button. I mean, I could click it. There are achievements, right? Like lifetime clicks. What's been producing the most amount of money? Well, this is fun. This is actually fun to watch. Ooh, what do we got here? Okay, these are achievements. You get these you get these emeralds, chaos emeralds for getting achievements. Own such and such. Make 100,000 in a lifetime. I guess they just come when they come, right? So like, this is probably the most entertaining screen. Doubling the factory is coming pretty soon. Actually, I feel it. Doubling the factory is going to be huge. So let's actually pile on some factories in anticipation. That's going to increase my like $100, over $100 a second just from that one that one upgrade. As tempted as I am to buy a bank right now because they're more efficient, I know that the factory is going to pay out in dividends. Beautiful, beautiful dividends. How's everybody doing tonight, though? Like, the factory will become my most productive object, more so than even my mines. Now, the treasury, if I save up for a treasury, that's like doubles my productivity just for a treasury, just about. All right, so we just hit the next tier. Boom, double the factory. Now we're flying. So 3,500 is to double the mine. 5% for 1,500. $1% of production. That's only $5. That's like nothing. All right, so you know what we do? I think we get factories because the factories. What did I just double? I just doubled my bank, or I just doubled my factory? I doubled my factory. I think we. Well, let me see how much the mine is again. 37,000. I think we save up for treasury, right? As sparse as it may be, Moneymaker still has more. It's transport defender. Yes, but if you can imagine, like I said before, look at all the nonsense here on the screen going on with transport defender. Like, that would just be an assault on the ears, right? Ooh, we're up to 46,000 cargo. So yeah, as long as the enemy waves are melting over here and things are dying, then transport defender is doing its thing. If the enemies stop dying, then we know we might be kind of getting close to due for a transport transfer. But 220,000. Yeah, there's nothing for me to really do. Each objective is so far apart. I mean, I like this little scroll work up here. Actually, I like drawing these kinds of things in real life on paper. These kinds of border scroll arts and swirlies and stuff. I mean, I'm not fantastic at it, but I enjoy doing it. But what else do we got for achievements? Yeah, look, our factories are like outproducing our mines, aren't they? Yeah, they are. I mean, I only have yet to buy like 2 mines. Like if I purchase 2 mines, like I can almost afford 2 mines, but shortly, if I purchase 2 mines right now, then I would have my mines outperforming my factories again. But as it states right now, they're not. But I'm so torn between loading up on mines because I know they're going to double relatively soon, even though this moves quite slowly. Or and I'm looking at my overlay right here. Like I actually had some filler. If you look to the right of the bottom right of where all the action is, I had some filler, some spare room, and I could put, say, the money value, which would squish pretty badly if it's not annotated. I'd put the money value there, and then I could put the RP. I could also shift things up, like the battle screen. The battle screen that's going on, I could scrunch it upwards a little bit. And I'd lose some of it, but I could fit the money below that, depending on how long this game goes and how long I'm going to need to have it. Ooh, what do we get? Like 1,000 RP for that level up? So I can't quite increase production 5%, but what would that do for me? 5%. That's like barely $30. I know it'll be more soon, but $30 a second? Which it grows though. Like it's not just a stagnant $30. It's a 5% boost. So it'll grow over time, but just right now it would be $30 a second versus doubling my mines, which is $180 a second, just flat. So, which also grows. It's $45 a second per mine, which I feel like the percentile stuff would be the stuff I probably don't go for first. Percentile stuff early is not the best. You want additive before multiplicative, right? That gives you more numbers, right? The menus are giving you nostalgic vibes of the old DOS theme park game. I didn't play theme park. I played Roller Coaster Tycoon, which I enjoyed. I thoroughly enjoyed the time that I put into Roller Coaster Tycoon. But I never got a chance to play theme park. But it looked like fun, and things have come a long way since then, right? Like theme park. Is this worth it? $2. Like I can get $12 a click. It's not nothing, but it's far from amazing. Once we get to like here, then you're starting to talk a little bit, like when you get into here. But doubling my automation is more enticing for idle purposes. Yeah, theme park looked fun. It really did, but I never knew anyone who had it, and I never had a chance to play it myself. Never got it. This is going to increase my productivity by literally 50%. That seems really good. Which means we have to wait like what 60. We have to wait 2/3 of the time to get a second one, roughly. Not counting the price increase of what the next treasury will cost us. At which point, once we buy a treasury, maybe we start throwing some money at some of the lower stuff, just to get some trickle value out of it, though. I know that there's easy math you could be doing to know that the most efficient things to upgrade in what order. And I'm not even touching my loot boxes, which I'm gonna wait. I guess I'm gonna wait. It's gonna. Oh, treasury time. Boom. Now we're cooking with treasuries. Oh, 70,000 for the next? Yikes, that was a steep increase of cost. But it feels like the printers aren't worth it, really. Because there's no way to, like, exponentially build them up. All right, so let's do some math here. If I buy a treasury, it's $1,000 for $1 a second. Roughly $1,000 for $1 a second. This one is less than $1,000 for $1 a second. So the mines are more efficient easily. So now this is more than $1,000 for $1 a second. So the treasury is now more efficient. But is the factory more efficient? No, that's more than $1,000. This is not $1,000 for $1 a second. This is $500 for $1 a second. There, now it's $1,000 for $1 a second. So that's now, and this. Okay, so now a treasure is the most efficient thing to buy. But it's not necessarily completely true because that's only if you could buy them, if you had the choice to buy them immediately all one here right now. Like if I could buy the treasury or the mine or the fact, blah, 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 obviously the treasure is the best thing to buy. But if I have to wait to get to the treasury and I'm missing out on the money of something else, am I then losing money waiting for the treasury? That's something I can't easily calculate in my mind based off of the, because I'm not really keeping track of how long it takes to get to it. Like if I'm making $1,000 a second, this is going to take me roughly 300 seconds. So 290 seconds. Let's just say 300 seconds. It's taking me 5 minutes to get to a treasury. In those 5 minutes, could I have purchased other things that would have gotten me more money by the time I could have gotten that treasury? I say possibly. And clearly, though, clicking the least expensive thing isn't the best. It's all about MPS, or money per second, right? Or DPS, dollars per second. We're up to 54,000 cargo on our other clicker game. Oh yeah. So I'm clearly buying these printers inefficiently. I shouldn't be buying the printers. I should be buying the banks. But I find it a slight amusement when I play these kinds of games to have everything cost the same value, even though the cost effectiveness of them is horrendous to buy a printer. Like buying a printer, no one would ever buy a printer right now. They'd obviously buy the bank. But I find it amusing to have the things nearly the same price. But so yeah, like I said, I'm doing this significantly inefficiently. Oh, 2,300. We just hit tier 10. We didn't quite get much of anything for RP. And it's taking a long time for this to show up anything. Ooh boy. So yeah, this is the kind of game that I do believe will take a while. And I don't hate that because the game did cost money. Oh, there it goes. Now it's growing. As opposed to the other one being free. I mean, the other one's free probably because they... You know what it is? I know what the difference is. So Transport Defender was free. That's an idle game. This game costs like $3. This game is an idle game. What's the difference between the two of them? One of them has sound effects. So, chew on that one for a second. So I think the mine is more efficient here. No, it's not. The factory is more efficient. By a little bit still. There is no automation in this one. Okay, so let's see here. When we have the Morher infuser, what's a Morher? Morpher. Why did it look like more? Seriously? misspelled morpher? How could that have gone so long with no one pointing that out, that this is misspelled? Whoops. Like, I also, like, it could have been more fun. Like, I know it takes time. It really does. But, like, the interface here, all, like, it's just one generic color, one kind of palish green color. There could be some, like, visual indication of how many of these buildings. Like, it could show you, like, a printers, maybe an animation of printers here, and maybe stronger animation if you have more of them. You know, fun things like that to think to add later. Okay, so let's say I buy a morpher, and I'm up to, I don't know, 500,000. Let's just be generous and say that I've got 1,000,000 a second. I'm coming in with 1,000,000 a second, dollars per second. How many minutes would it take to get to a matrix machine? 50,000 seconds? How many seconds is 50,000 seconds? How many minutes? That's nearly 1,000 minutes, right? That's a lot of time. No, I'm not saying I'm going to have 1,000,000. I'll probably have more than 1,000,000 when I have my first morpher. And I'm not going to go from my first morpher directly into my matrix machine. But still. Interesting. I think at this point we save up for another treasury. Or do we just go all out and double our money and save up for an agency? We could do that. We could just save up for an agency. Oh, I should be clicking. I'm losing out on money if I'm not clicking. I also got to make sure that I get the value for my $3 I spent on this game and listen to some of these sound effects. How much money have I made from clicking? $1,337 from clicking. What are the odds that that's the exact number that I... No way. Now I can't click anymore because that number would change. And money boost. So that's interesting. What does that mean? Like, how do you boost money? Is there some kind of... The loot boxes that you buy right here, right? One, I'm curious if they... Oh, plus 0%. I'm wondering if that's based on this right here. Increases production a second. 5, 5, 10, that's 20, 25, 30, 40, 50, 60, 75. So it's 100% when you max out. How much to double? 3,500? You know, we're actually getting kind of close to doubling the mine efficiency. So after we buy a treasury, let's start throwing everything at everything we've got at mines. We're actually getting pretty close to a treasury. I'm buying treasuries every 5 minutes or so, which is quite a bit of time, but... And... 2, 1. Got it. Boom. Alright, so now we start throwing things at treasuries because they're about to double those. You didn't quite catch it, but on the skill tree it looked like morpher was spelled correctly. On the skill tree, like here. Spelled correctly here. Spelled correctly here. Like the only place it's not spelled correctly is in the nice pretty picture right here. Alright, so let's get more mines. Ooh. It still takes like a minute for me. I can only buy like a mine every minute. So doubling the efficiency of my mines is going to give me approximately $400 per second bonus boost, which is effectively the same as almost a little bit more than buying a single mine. And do we get enough? Are we going to get 1,200? We did! Boom! With 50 to spare. So, ooh, did we get another achievement? Make $1 million. Oh, we've made $1 million. How about that? Own a mine, own a treasury, own 10. Oh, okay. So we do get some chaos emeralds for getting 10 of every building. So that's something to shoot for, I guess, huh? So now that we're getting about close to 2,000 a second, getting an agency is not out of the question. But mines, I feel like, are still the most efficient thing to buy at this moment, though not by much. Also, when it comes to buying printers, it's curious to see. It'll be curious to see if it's like own 1, own 10, own 100 or 50. But you notice it doesn't say if these are all the buildings right here, and this is owning 10 of everything in theory, and this is owning, let's say it's 50 or 100, it stops here and it doesn't continue. Or these are misaligned and these belong up here. And this is glitched or something. I don't know. Let's click one and see what happens. Nothing. Okay. But making $1 million got me 35 chaos emeralds. And if the price of loot boxes don't go up, and it stays 10 every time, there's going to come a point where I get one achievement and I can open like 10 loot boxes and really get a boost of RP and a boost of money. Dollars. What's the next one? 5K? 250. Oh, we should be. Oh no! My 1337 is ruined. What was I thinking? I just wanted to click. I wanted to click something. And it was staring at me right here, this big beautiful button. Oh. It tempted me so and I failed. So we're almost 2,000. If we buy one more treasury, we're at 2,000 a second. And if we wait 2,000 a second. That's 500 seconds to get an agency. That's a little under 10 minutes, like eight something minutes. So if we wait right now, 600,000 divided by 1,700. So I think not buying a treasury and just waiting for the agency, I think we'll get there faster, right? Yeah, we should. But this one's, I can see why people are like, yeah, there's not much to this one, because that's kind of true. I mean, is there an Easter egg? Maybe the guy hid an Easter egg in on the cover. Clicking places and ooh, that did something. It made me money. Lifetime production, huh? Is there anything here? Can I scroll the coming? These boosts. So it looks like boosts. These are boosts, and they're not here yet. Makes me wonder if this game should still be like early access or something. If it's really kind of just not a lot to it. Okay, I can use the mouse wheel in this. Just want to make sure the mouse wheel does function in this game. Like, clicking effectively does become useless pretty quickly. Unless you go down this tree, at which point clicking actually is pretty good if you go down the left side of the tree. It like perhaps it could over double the speed of the game if I was going down here actually. Let's see here. 310, 312. I'd be making 314 a click. Like, yeah, I'd be speeding the game up quite a bit if I went down that side of the tree. But I wouldn't be getting this much money. This would be about half. Almost half. No, I certainly still would be I'd be moving considerably faster. Maybe I chose poorly then. Maybe I should have gone down the left side of the screen. The right side is better though for the automated part. Good to see all these monsters, all these alien ships on the right on my transport defender. Good to see that they're still falling quite swiftly to my guy. And since I started, because I was a sector 1300, I think, when I started up, I've already moved 400 sectors in a matter of a half hour. Nice. My money went from E90s to E113s. That's a lot of monies. Good stuff. All right. Anyway, back to this one. This is the one this is the one we should be focusing on. Not the pretty exploding spaceships on the right. Not a very good moneymaker. What I did do though is I saved my wrists and my button pushing finger, my mouse clicking finger. I saved them from a horrible fate of clicking. It's gonna be a while before I reach here too, isn't it? Like at least 2 or 3 more levels. I had to guess 3. I could try opening a loot box just to see how much I get from it. I still feel like that's a little too early. What are we looking at for you? Oh! 1,000 lifetime clicks. Oh boy, now you know I gotta start clicking. Okay. I never even considered the fact that there were achievements for clicking. And now that I understand that, I am no shame to clicking. Even at $2 a click, I'm gonna click. What other achievements did it seem like there were? So yeah, it's kind of weird how it's split up. Kind of hard to really conceptualize what kind of progress you've made. But I do have slight regret going down the side of the tree that I did. I could always start over. I didn't mean like that. No, hopefully it saved my game. No. Did I just mess up? Please keep my progress. Okay. I wanted to click this and restart the game. Yeah, the game called my bluff. I really didn't want to start the game over. Oh, silly game. You got me. Oh, wow. I can actually click and not get money. Does it advance my clicks when I do that? 15, 15, 27, 61. No, I have to click and let go while on the button. And the mouse has to stay on the button the whole time. Well, guess what? Guess what? Own my first agency. We are moments away. And we're going to get a bunch of Chaos Emeralds, like 6 or something like that. Boom. No, it's worth 10. Ooh. Went from 5 to 10. I thought we would go from 5 to 6. Now we're speeding. How much is the next one? 320,000 more than the previous. Yikes. All right. We just got some RP. It was only 1,500 RP. When do you think the next one is? 10,000 clicks? 50 and then 100? That's a lot of clicking, honestly. Upgrade the clicker? You think so? You really think so? I could upgrade it twice. It feels pathetic unless I can actually like get to here. It's only until like this point does it feel like the clicker is worth clicking. Increase clicker power by 100,000. 25,000 RP. Like, I'd almost rather upgrade the percentage, like here. 5%. What is 5%? $142 or something like that, or whatever. 147. It's not much. I could buy 2 of these and do better than that. So do we do it? Do we go all the way to the extractor and over triple our income? That's not very efficient. That's a lot of waiting. Better late than never. I get it. I do. I get it. It just feels so bad at this point. Yeah, I don't know what to think about this one. I'm not as impressed with this one for sure. Especially after the one I just came from. Like, do we just put this one off to the side? This is the one though that you can't just let run. You kind of have to every few minutes come here and click one of these to start making use of your money efficiently. As opposed to like, because it doesn't have an auto purchase like the other game. The other game has an auto purchase, and that auto purchase really kind of helps make the game become an idler. Whereas this one, you kind of got to check in on it every few minutes and then go here and click. And then you then make use of the money you've been compiling all this time, right? So, I don't know. We're already almost halfway to the next agency. Which, that's the next thing I double, right? Treasury. No, the treasury is the next thing I double. Which, right now agencies are more efficient than treasuries per dollar. Not by a lot, but that was interesting. Huh. Almost like I'm encouraged to just wait to get the higher costing things. I'm pretty sure that it'll work, but let me click off the screen and see what happens. So we're at 740. Oh, okay, I can't. Clicking off the screen doesn't minimize it. Oh, I can do other things. Cool. I'm not going to, but good. I could have like Transport Defender on one screen, Moneymaker on the other. Playing all the games at the same time. So if you're going to put this one in the background, then you agree with upgrading the automation, though. Upgrading the automation. What do you mean you agree with me? You agree with me that I think the developer should put automation into this game where it auto buys things for you, or that what are you talking about automation then? I might have missed what you mean by that. Like my agencies have already almost made as much as my treasuries, and I've had them for a fraction of the time. So putting the automated moneymakers in the background. I feel awkward having this guy. Well, let's say I moved on right now. Let's say right this moment. Oh, upgrading the automation. You mean you approve of me taking the RP route to the auto upgrades versus the clicker upgrades? Yes, that's my goal. My goal is to get this one to where it runs in the background, just like Transport Defender. And let's say that I've reached a point where I think it'd be worth my time and everyone's time to put this one in the background and move on to the next game, the Aqua Nimble. Let's say I move on to Aqua Nimble right now. The amount of money that I'm getting per second is dwarfed. I should be clicking these every now and then. But I feel awkward like jumping to this game just to click one button. Because the way that I document this quest is I document it, and I've always documented it in sections. 3 hours of this game, then I stop. And then I pick it up the next day and play another hour or 7. And then I stop. I've never considered how I would document the video, the VODs of a game that I'm clicking on one box of it every 20 minutes. And then putting it in the background. Like, how do I document that? It doesn't document well, if you know what I mean. So I think it's going to come down to the point where, let's say I play this for a couple hours tonight, all right? Being generous. And I get to the point where I literally have to wait like 2 hours before I can buy one of these things. Let's say I literally have to wait 2 hours. Well, I'm not going to sit here and let everybody watch me watch numbers go up for 2 hours, right? At that point, I put it in the background. And then I finish the stream, and then I come back the next day, and I open it up. And this looks like the kind of game that does not function while you don't have it open. So I'm not gonna keep it open when I'm not streaming. It's only ever gonna be open when I'm streaming. Transport Defender actually functions while you have it turned off. This one does not. And what I'll do is, oh, it's like something lit up. And it's the agency. Boom. So what I'm gonna probably do is get it to the point where I have to wait multitudes of minutes or hours before I can click any one thing to upgrade my money by fractions. And then when I do that, I'll do what I did this time. Like, well, no, I started Transport Defender. I played it for 5 minutes, and then I moved to this guy. So what I'll do every stream is I'll do Transport Defender, then I'll do Moneymaker, and Moneymaker will literally take me 2 minutes. I'll go into here, I'll click all the things that are the most expensive or most efficient, not close the game, leave it in the background, and then move on to the next game. So I'll do just a few minutes for each game, at most. But this game's gonna take a while. But I'm not gonna like micromanage this game. If I'm sitting here with $700 million in the bank and I could click the Matrix machine 3 times, I'm not going to do it midstream. I'm just gonna let the game run, get as much money as it will give me, and the next day I'll click all the buttons at the beginning of the stream, and that way the game gets documented with a VOD very easily, very efficiently. And that's why I'm not going back to Transport Defenders. I'm going to resist clicking anything on Transport Defenders. And it's easier to resist that one because that one's so automated, right? So it's buying things for me. And it only buys things for me when the game is open. That's why when I signed on tonight, nothing was dying because my upgrades didn't happen. Things were dying extremely slowly. And just the way it is. I'll let the game play while I'm streaming, and none other time. No other time will I play the game. However, I do have plans. I do have plans in my mind to circumvent that a little bit. Everything I just said about what I just described, I want to do with my idle games. I do have plans to make them more interesting, make them more engaging. I actually have some pretty decent plans running through my mind. I have ideas. The kind of ideas that I kind of want idle games to roll. That's how interesting my ideas are in my head right now. Like if I could have like 7 or 8 idle games going at the same time, that would actually be really cool. And could actually work. I think I could make that work. Believe it or not. Oh, our mines. Our mines are actually doing pretty decent. How many of those do I have? I only have 7. But I'm totally going to buy another agency. They're worth it. Like 2 of these guys is more efficient than an agency. So I really should buy 2 more treasuries. Especially since I'm about to upgrade my treasuries very soon. I don't know if I'll be doing it tier 14, but as I just hit 13. But I will be doing it pretty soon. What other achievements are there? Like, I don't know what these are or what these are. So I could go back to clicking so that I can start working towards that click achievement. Even though clicking is basically useless otherwise. I'm trying to look around my room to see if there's a... Like the space... The space bar works! And the enter button works. Any other buttons? So I can hit spacebar. Oops. I can hit spacebar, enter, and return. And the left mouse button. I have 4 ways of actually clicking this coin now. Or whatever this thing is. How am I going to keep my mouse still? Do I have a clamp? Way to clamp my mouse to the table so it doesn't move on me. Can I... wait, I can put it there. All right, let me put the mouse on the button. Where's my mouse? There it is. All right, let's see if this works. Max clicking efficiency. Also, there's like no fanfare when you get an achievement. Like, there could have been some message that shows up, even briefly saying, hook up a gamepad and use auto fire. I don't know if I have a gamepad that utilizes auto fire. I don't think I do. And I don't even know if it would let me do it anyway. But you see that? Notice that, like, it'd be nice if a notification popped up and then a notification popped up. But it was actually for reaching Sector 2000 in Transport Defender. Which happened like 2 minutes ago, you know, because Transport Defender achievements are very delayed for some reason. Now I kind of wish my click was worth something. And I'd be raking in the dough right now. Because I'm clicking upwards of 3 times faster with using 4 buttons instead of 1. If I really push it, I can get up to like more than 4 times. Ah, so many clickings. Did I get anything for that? Now, I said Steam achievements would never be a goal for a game, ever. I hardcore banned Steam achievements being a game goal. But I never said anything about in-game achievements, but I think that by nature and by proxy, those are also banned. In-game achievements are banned as being a goal from the game. I may make an extreme exception, like if the game is built to get achievements. For example, like let's say I rolled a game and the game is called Achievement Hunter or something. Oh, can I buy another? Yes, I can. Just in time. Justin Bieber. All right, so say I roll a game called Achievement Hunter, and the entire objective of the game is to unlock achievements, and there were like 7,000 of them. Then yeah, getting all the achievements in that game would be the goal of the game. But other than that, no. Yeah, there's a way to see the number of clicks, and that is right here. It's 3227. So once I hit 5,000, we'll see if I get another achievement here or something. Oh, I can't leave it up either because I wish I could watch this go up while I'm doing it. But no, the button has to be on the screen. I can also time myself. Like, let me see here. Let me get to a nice number. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, 3,300. Let's actually get to a nicer number than that. Let's get to 3,500. Make sure I don't overshoot. I'm clicking way more Way more than I thought it was. Okay, 30. Let's get to 4,000. It's like when you're filling up your gas tank and like, okay, I'm going to stop at $40 or $30 or whatever the dollars. Let's say $30. Stop at $30 and you let go of the nozzle and it's $30.02. I'm like, what do I do now? Like, do I go to $31? Do I go to $30.50? Do I try and stop at $30.10? What do you do? What do you do in that instance? Because don't you dare tell me that you don't think about that kind of thing when you're filling up your gas tank. I know everybody does that, right? Everybody thinks about what the value is that you're putting into a tank and whether or not it ends in a nice number. Everybody does that. I can't be the only one. One more click. Okay, 4. Okay, so 4,000 clicks. Let me challenge myself to click for 1 minute. So when the Moneymaker timer hits 56 minutes. When Moneymaker timer hits 56 minutes, I'm going to click the crap out of that button. And we'll see how many clicks I can click in 1 minute doing my technique. All right, here we go. All right, 4,000 is the starting point. And go. You always round up to the nearest quarter. I always round up to the nearest 0 or 5 in the penny position. If it ends in a 0 or it ends in a 5, I'm cool with it. And if I miss, it's not hard to get to the next 5 or the next 0. I know it's not the most OCD, but it's the most OCD I was willing to give to a gas pump. But it is something that I do consciously make an effort of every single time, without fail. I stop at a 0 or a 5 in the pennies. Which means 20% of the time, it happens. Without me having to try. And stop. Okay, how many times did I click from 4,000? A little over 1,000 times. Did we get an achievement for 5,000 clicks? We did not. So, you know what I could do is I could just casually click, casually be pressing the enter button and the return button without thinking much about it. Without much stress on my hands. Ooh, can we buy the next, Oh, it's 2.2 million. 2.3 million. That's a lot. Minor OCD double for you is you can't have the TV volume on an odd number. I know that never bothers me. I will admit, whatever the TV is doing, volume-wise, does not bother me. I never even considered that one. Like, does it bother you whenever you have to watch something on an odd channel then? Like, Channel 3 news? Like, oh, sorry, I'm going to be watching Channel 6 news because I can't watch news on an odd number. Not making fun of you, but I think that would be kind of amusing for somebody to take that approach to it. Like, I hope you don't do that. I hope for your own sake you don't do that. No way. No, you do not. It does not bother you. You can't tell me it bothers you to watch an odd numbered channel on a television, does it? That's actually pretty funny. I never considered that. That's, I don't know if that's an OCD thing, though. Would that be considered OCD? Maybe it is. Sorry if these pages are a little loud, but I gotta click me a button to try to get me some achievements. Because achievements actually have value in this game, not just for vanity's sake. If it was just a vanity's sake thing, I wouldn't care. I know a lot of people love their achievements. Achievements have never motivated me. I can't say that. They have seldomly and extremely rarely motivate me to do anything in a game. Just because there's an achievement for it. Unless that achievement actually gains you some either tangible value or mechanical value where it gives you something in the game for it. Like For example, GoldenEye 007, the achievement of getting the record time on whatever skill level is required for whatever level you're playing. You will actually unlock cheat codes for doing that. So yes, of course I'm going to go for those achievements. They are achievements in every way, except they are not called achievements. In today's world, they would be called achievements. So I consider them achievements, and I went for every single one of them, and I got them all in 2 weeks. And in effect, you know, aside from beating the game on 00 Agent on every skill level, I beat, and I got all the cheats unlocked and all that in 2 weeks. So, like, I 100% of the game in 2 weeks. It was a fun game, though. I then proceeded to play the multiplayer game. I actually, back in the day, speaking of GoldenEye 007. Alright, can we buy the next one? Agency. Back in the day, does anyone remember the level where you were taken to be interrogated in an office room? Was it the library? I believe it was the library, because you had to go get Natalia, and then you had to go to the safe and get the secret documents or the plans, and then you'd have to escape out the window with Natalia still alive. And there's guys spawning everywhere. Literally, they spawn endlessly. And you remember that level? You like start in a small room behind a desk, and your gun is on the table in front of you. And one of the guys holds the key to the room that you're locked in. There are 2 guys in there. That's the level I'm talking about. Not sure if anybody remembers that stage, the library. Oh, it's called the Archives. Okay, that does make more sense. So, how many clicks do I have? 1 second. 7,400. Let's go to 7,500 and see if it gives me the achievement there. Nope. You end up in a snowy street. So I actually came up with a mini challenge. A challenge that does not actually exist in the game. It was my own idea. And on the GameFAQs forums, I actually created a post. And I suggested this challenge. Ooh, we hit 100,000 locked cargo. I suggested this challenge to the GameFAQs crew, the GameFAQs forums. And several people actually thought it was fun enough, and they joined me on this challenge. The challenge is, I don't know if I have enough RP, do I? I do. So we double the treasury. That means our treasuries go from 300 to 600, and I have 2 of them. So this is like almost a 10% boost. And then I can start throwing money at the treasuries, because that's a lot of money, actually. Let me just start buying some stuff, because fun, because why not? So what I did was, my idea for this challenge was you start at the archives level. You put it on, I want to say you put it on 007 agent, 007 mode. You turn the enemy damage all the way up. You turn the enemy health all the way down. And the way that level works is if you explore the archives level, wherever you explore, I think it turns off the spawning of the enemies. I could be wrong. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But I get the sense, like however many times I've played that level, when you walk through an area, the surrounding areas start to turn off the spawn for the enemies. So that way, enemies don't spawn behind you too badly. Whatever else they determined, I think, is why they would make it do that. But whatever the case, you would, knowing that if you never left the room, enemies would always spawn forever. And what I came up with is you put on the cheats unlimited ammo, double RCP 90, and you put on the cheat enemy rocket launchers. And you never leave the room. How long can you last? Unlimited ammo, double RCP 90s. Unlimited enemy spawn with double rocket launchers. If you don't leave the room, which you're not allowed to leave the room, the enemies never stop spawning. And enemies spawn 2, 3, 4, however many it is, every couple of seconds or every few seconds. You have new enemies running to that door to open up. The moment an enemy shoots a rocket at you, you're basically dead. So the object of the game is to kill as many enemies as possible, endless mode, and see how many kills you can get before an enemy actually kills you. And I remember like getting into the hundreds of kills. I don't know if I had the high score by the time I stopped going on GameFAQs, and by the time I stopped playing that game, but it was a fun little thing that I decided to try out. It was amusing. And like I said, I had a leaderboards on there and everything, and people are having fun trying to better their scores. So you just basically kill the two guys in front of you, and whip out your double RCP 90s and pop a squat. Do whatever it is you want. Just don't leave the room. I also think that I had another rule where you were not allowed to go beyond the table that you start behind. Because if you can camp out in the corner behind the door and just shoot through the door, that just wasn't fun or fair. So if you didn't leave the table that was in front of you, then you're stuck fighting the enemies from a distance, and they actually have a chance to kill you. Otherwise, they don't really. We're getting to the line of where the agency and the extractor are about the same value. What kind of achievement? Did we hit 10 million? Did that give us anything? Yes. 50 Chaos Emeralds. I'm tempted to open one. I'm tempted to open one of those boxes to see what kind of boost I get. How much is 5% now? 420 bucks. $420. Only 1500 RP. 7,000 RP gets me 1,200. And obviously closer to the next one, but all three of these would be 20%, which is about the same price, just slightly more than this for 20% production rate. 20% production rate would be 1,600 plus 1,700 versus 4,800. So no, the percentage boost is still significantly weaker than the doublers. And I think it very may well be the case for the entire trek down this. I'm curious. I'm going to just buy another agency, because then I think we will save up for the extractor. At this point, then I'll have nearly 10K in income. And I think I manipulate it so that I do have exactly 10,000 by strategically buying these other things. Because, you know, I'm OCD like that. Yeah, it was a fun challenge. Not sure if anyone else thinks that it was fun this day and age, but it was fun back then when Super Smash Bros. 64 and GoldenEye 64 were like the games that you were playing at the time. Boom. Okay, so now we get 322 more dollars from some things. That would be not a treasury. We'll go for a mine, a couple of mines. That'll do most of it. All right, we'll buy one more mine, even though it's hyper inefficient to buy a mine compared to a treasury. But I want to hit that 10,000, the sweet, sweet 10,000. Buying an extractor isn't that much of a boost compared to what I currently have. I mean it is. It's 65% more than what 10,000 would be. But all right, so now we buy one of these and another one of these. Or do we just throw the rest at printers so that we can try to get the printer achievement, whatever that number might be, so we can get closer to whatever this number might be. No, we'll do that later. 24. And then 1, 2. There we go. So we're making 10K a second. Look at this number. What's this number doing? Why is the ones place moving? So we got fractions because it's moving in strange variants. Okay. So this is an easy number to calculate. How long is it going to take to reach an extractor if it's 10,000 a second? So we're making 1,000, so it'll be 1,850 seconds from now, we'll have an extractor. What is 1,850 seconds? What? Don't tell me that's like 30, 40 minutes. I don't think it's 30, 40 minutes, is it? Can't be. 1,850 seconds. It is 30 minutes, 31 minutes. Yikes. We're going to sit here for half an hour just to buy one thing. And this is where it comes down to, like, we might be getting close to the point of reaching where wait, is that moving faster than a second? Let me start my clock here. Oh, I can watch. It almost feels like that's moving faster than 1 second, but I could just be wrong. So let's see here. Yeah, it's moving faster than 10,000 a second. I knew I was right. It's moving quite a bit faster than 10,000 a second. Something's off. I wonder if they know about this. Well, let's try to get to 10,000 clicks, because that's only going to take like 2.5 minutes of raw super clicking with all 4 of my clickable buttons here. And we click for... Can we click for 2.5 minutes like this? Oh, the mouse moved. Where can I put this thing where it's not going to move on me? Where it's elevated off of any kind of like readable surface. So we're trying to get to 18 million. 18 million will allow us to buy big boosts to our money. We could also try opening a loot box, honestly. See what that does for us. Well, let's go to 10,000 clicks first, and then we'll see about opening a loot box. Well, we opened like 3, I think, really early on, and they were giving us like 2,000 money or something, which was pretty pathetic. I wish I held off. not knowing. How's that? How's that? Probably not close yet. Still 1,000 to go. All right, let's just omit the mouse. The mouse is a little too awkward. I think if we do it right, we can perhaps click faster without the mouse by using the 3 other buttons that are available to me. Although they're spread out all across the entire surface of the keyboard, so that's awkward. How close are we now? 640 to go. Open up a crate. Yeah, I'm going to try doing that after I hit 10,000 clicks. I think that the crates are value is based off, if it's not based off of the tier of whatever this is, tree, this tree, that's not a tree, is that? At first I thought that was like a tree growing, and it gives off that persona because it expands upwards, right? So I thought it was like a tree, but now that I look at it again, it's almost like smoke or fire. Like, but then again, this looks like a root coming out of a book, so it could also be fire. So we're at 182. We're at 182 Chaos Emeralds. Let's see if that changes pretty soon here. So I'm nearly at 10,000. I kind of want to slow roll it. Get some enjoyment out of this. So 300 to go. How close are we now? 170. Don't want to overshoot it. 70. 27. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so we're at 999 clicks. If I click once, in theory, this is going to go up like 20 or 30 or something. 20. I'm going to guess 25. This is going to go to 207. But let's actually wait until we hit 15. That way it doesn't interfere with... I don't know when that's going to happen. And hit 15. Come on, come on. Give me like 2,500 rep. Yeah. It's like 2,400 or something. All right, so now we're at 2,800. If I click this... Oh, wait, no. This rep doesn't have anything to do with Chaos Emeralds. What am I saying? So if I hit this, I'm going to guess we're going to go to 207 Chaos Emeralds. Boom. Whoa. That's huge. All right, so now we can afford like 10 loot boxes because of that. So here we are, 10,000 a second. What does this loot box get me? 3 million. But only 250 RP. Well, if I wanted to start boosting, I could do that 27 times. 3 million times 27,000. That can get me... So if I did it like... I could actually push towards... So what, if I did that 3 more times, I'd nearly have an extractor. And we'd be moving 600, we'd be moving 65% faster than we currently are. Plus we're getting RP for that too. But it was a pretty, sorry to say, it was a pretty pathetic amount of RP that I got there. So I've clicked 10,000 times. If I was making 300, a click at 10,000, that's actually only 3 million. So clicking still doesn't seem worth it. That amount of clicking took a lot out of me, right? Like, it wasn't nothing. Sitting here in my butt, just watching numbers go up, that's nothing. That's very doable. 100,000. Having max level those. So this actually right here, this guy, 1% of production. That might be where it's kind of also perhaps at 1%. That's 100. Like if I got both of these, that's 100. That'd be $113 per click. It's 213. I don't know. Just doesn't seem worth it still. %5 of production per click. What is it in total? 5, 7, 1, 2, 3, 5, 10. At least they made it a nice 10%. That's an extra 1,000 per click in my current state. If I owned one of these, it's 110,000 per click just for owning one of these. Plus all this is like, that's $250,000. If I have all of this and I own just one of these, that's $250,000 per click. $250,000 per click is 1 million every 4 clicks. We're talking, you'd have to click a lot to get another one. We're halfway to an extractor though. How about that? You could also buy 2 agencies instead, knowing that doubling my agencies is not right around the corner, but pretty soon. Doubling my agencies would give me 12,000 or 6,000 right now. So many choices. You know, I also wonder, like, how many printers are needed for this tier, the tier 3 building, right? I could also start clicking a lot. I could start clicking a whole lot and start and work towards hundreds of Chaos Emeralds probably. I don't know, 500, 200, 300. Watch this be like 250 and this one be like 500 or something. But this one, it looks like I might have to click 100,000 times, and don't tell me. Please don't tell me I have to click 1,000,000 times to get this one right here. That'd be brutal. What are these, like skulls? Like, looks like some kind of skull thing. Kind of weird. Is it some kind of what's the word? Not analogy, like some kind of representation of death being the ultimate achievement for the love and greed of money. Which, I get it. I really get it. But yeah, things have definitely turned into a bit of a crawl here. The kind where you can go to sleep, wake up, and just buy a bunch of things. This isn't really one of those games you watch. Effigy, yeah. That wasn't the word I'm thinking of, but in a sense, yeah. So, but what is 3 loot boxes, right? 3 loot boxes would get me my first extractor, which my first extractor would get me enough money for perhaps a couple more loot boxes. And that speeds things up by how many minutes? So if it was 3 million a pop, if I open up 2 and just wait for the last one, that's so it was a half-hour wait or so to get an extractor. So split that into 3 and 8, so it's 10. So each loot box I open saves me 10 physical minutes of waiting. for this extractor. 10 whole minutes. Ten whole minutes. Well, that's funny. Like, banks are cheaper than printers. That's because I use printers to make this exactly 10,000. Is it now functioning at 10,000 a second when it wasn't earlier? Let me see. It looks like it's. Okay, so it is functioning at 10,000 a second, it seems to be. I swear earlier it wasn't. Like, it was functioning faster than 10,000 a second earlier. It's kind of creeped me out a little bit watching that number move faster than 10,000 a second. To the point of noticing it, like, noticeably. Oh, I have more agencies than I do treasuries? Treasuries are quite more efficient. Like, so if I bought 10 of these, right? 10 of these is, well, 11. I bought 11 of these. 11 of these would cost me, let's say 12 million or so. Give or take, maybe 15 million. That's more efficient than the extractor. Plus, I'd be making that money all this time leading up to the purchase of an extractor. So waiting for this extractor is not efficient. I definitely admit that. But I want to do it anyway because I'm the kind that I've got some pretty insane patience when it comes to holding off on things that I know are better in favor of things that I know are even better. Like resisting a good deal, knowing there's a great deal behind it, even if the good deal is still a good deal and nearly anybody would be satisfied with it. I'm the kind that can actually hold off. Like, for example, let's say that there was a game. Let's take a perfect example here. Let's say that there's a game that I wanted. Like, say XCOM 3 comes out, right? And like, I love XCOM. Let's say XCOM 3 comes out, and it looks super fun, and it's $70, right? And like, I can wait for it to go down in price. And let's say that I have to wait like 2 years, and it goes down to $40. I'm the kind of person that says, I can wait a couple more weeks for the winter sale for when it probably goes down to like 50% off of $40. I'm that kind of person. Even if I could wait 2 months because I know in 2 months it's going to go on sale for another half off of that. I can wait yet another 2 months on top of the 2 years that I waited already for a good deal. And I'm the kind of person that can do that. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but I totally can. I don't know. It's a blessing and a curse sometimes. Ooh, how much cargo do I have? 143,000 cargo. Things are still melting over there in a transport defender land. My money's up to East 161. I think it was the right call not to transfer and to just let the game keep going because things are still melting. Like, things wouldn't really be melting much any faster than they are now if I had leveled up. And like I told you, like, I didn't really see any cargo boosting things on the horizon that leveling up would allow me to like get more cargo on the next trip. So when I stream next, though, I'm going to make bank, and I'm just going to go and, like, I'm going to buy a ton of things next time. Whereas today, like, here it is. Like, this is a perfect example. Like, I totally could have transferred my cargo on Transport Defender, right? And taken advantage. It looks like the Nyan Cats don't even hit anything, maybe 10% of the time. Oh, no, they do. They definitely do, but they're hitting things off screen. But the cool thing about the Nyan Cats is that when they get to the top of the screen and they hit something, they actually have a small AoE burst that bursts like this, and that AoE burst lingers. And so that ring of AoE burst that lingers for like a quarter second is actually killing things that are spawning right behind them. So the Nyan Cats are not doing nothing. The Nyan Cats are actually reasonably powerful. The only thing I could say that would help out the melting of these enemies is that you can actually see some of the enemies reaching like halfway down to where they need to, like, let's say let's say that the enemy wants to go a third of the screen before it stops. Some of those enemies are actually nearly reaching that third of the screen. And I feel like that's slow. I kind of almost guarantee you that's slow to see some of those enemies reach. Like if I had twice as many weapons and twice as many things melting things on the screen, things would be melting 5 to 10 times faster, maybe more. I'm guessing. And having more weapons would do that. If I had transferred, I would have more weapons, and I would be able to kill things faster. But then it comes to that efficiency thing. Like the time it took for me to transfer, the time it took for me to build back up to the sector I was it actually more efficient than waiting one more 24-hour cycle? And that's what I'm about to say. Like the whole I can wait for something even greater by giving up something good now is like I could have transferred an hour and a half ago and started over and bought a few things and maybe been like 10-20% more efficient than I am now at cargo accrual. I'm just throwing a number out there, but I feel like I was at the rate of cargo accrual that was really good, and I don't mind waiting yet again, like another 24-hour cycle or however long it'll be before I stream again, to have even more the next time, right? So it's like that frog, that piggy jumping, that frog hopping over something else. Like, do I build up that hop to be even stronger by delaying the progress now? Like compounded interest, right? Don't pull the money out of the bank. Let it sit there just for a little bit longer, because compound interest is just going to be that much greater when you finally do take it out. Yeah. I guess that's all I have to say about that. I do have to say though that we're only a couple minutes away from this extractor. 2 million more to go. That's like 3.5 minutes. Less than 3.5 minutes. So we're nearly there. We're 90% of the way to that extractor. Hard to believe it's been almost a half hour since we've. Well, what do you think of my my GoldenEye 007 challenge idea on the archives level? Anyone have an opinion on that? Just plug in my phone. And is that anything that anyone would want to try out at some point, just for fun, for old time's sake? See how many kills you can get before you get wiped out by a rocket to the face. 2.2 billion. I'm curious. Let's see here. So the Morher, aka Morpher. Oh, look at that. There's only 4 more buildings to go. I already have over half the buildings in the game. So at 10,000. All right, let's see my rate right now. Extractor, 18,500. So 18.5 million divided by 10,000 divided by 60. 31 minutes or so. So it's 31 minutes to reach an extractor. 240 million divided by 18.5 million. 12. So 13 times 30.8 equals 399 minutes. So it's 6.65 hours. So it's 6 hours and 40 minutes to reach the infuser as of right now. So let's say I was playing a different game right now and that game lasted 7 hours. I would then, at the end of that stream, I could click the infuser one time. That's it. But then my money would over triple, right? My income would increase. It would quadruple my income, right? To 42,000. So then would only be like an hour and a half for the next infuser plus interest of the however much more the infuser costs the next time. So let's just say 2 hours. So we go from 7 hours down to like 2 hours for the next infuser. Yeah. So then it's almost 10 times. So we're talking 70 hours from now. And let's just say 65 hours from now, I can afford one morpher. But this game doesn't run when I'm not on screen. So I think this is the perfect kind of game where, just based off of these numbers alone, the extractor just came online. Boom! Look at the money fly now. Oh yeah. How many 20. We got 20 Chaos Emeralds for that. So I'm going to have a little bit of fun. I'm going to buy printers, just printers, and see if I'm curious if my rep will actually hit. I get 4,000 rep on my next rep upgrade. So I'm going to buy some printers. How many do I want? I want... Oh, I have 10. I want 2 printers. Is that enough? No. Oh, this is such a waste of money. That's not enough either. I didn't think it would be. 35 printers is not enough to acquire the next achievement. You wonder if the amount in the loot box has to do with the amount of money in RP banked currently or the overall accrued amount. My guess it's either going to be, it's based off either your money per second or your RP rank, which is 15 right now. I don't want to believe it's based off of your actual income, your actual dollar value, your banked value. I want to believe it's not that. If I was making this game, I would not make it to be based off of these two numbers. It would either be this number or this number, which are close. If we want to consider it too, they're almost one and the same number, because this number is what allows you to get to this number. If you don't have this number, you're not really getting to this number, not in any realistic amount of time. So it might actually not be based off of both. It's probably one or the other, which are almost the same as each other. That's my guess. I don't want to think it's based off of the amount of achievements I have, which I don't think it's the amount of achievements I have. Ooh, I did hit 10 million, but I already had that. Never mind, I already had 10 million. What am I up to now though? 33. I don't know. Is this a more interesting screen to watch? I think this is probably a more interesting screen to watch if I'm not actively clicking. Did I really click 4 times? Well, we're getting close to tier 16. And at that point, agencies are going to be worth double. And I feel like are the worthwhile call. Outside of the fact that treasuries right now are, the bang for buck on treasuries is really good compared to even agencies. That is until I double them. I don't know if that's happening here in a couple minutes or if that's going to be on the next rank up. Which if I miss it by a couple hundred, maybe I just open a loot box and then I can hit it. And that might be worth it, right? Just to open one loot box to hit the next achievement so I can double my agencies that much quicker. But then here we have that conundrum of my personality where I know if I save my loot boxes, I know they'll be worth more later. I've proved that already. So if I don't open them now, they'll be worth way more later. But when later shows up, I'm going to say the exact same thing then that I just said now. If I just wait a little bit, it's like the whole role-playing game. I have 99 high potion elixirs in my inventory. If I use them in this random battle, I'll have 98, and then I will have less to use on the next boss fight. But I'm so powerful, I'm not going to need them on the next boss fight. And if I do need them on the next boss fight, I'm probably going to try to not use them because the next boss fight after that's going to be even harder, and I'm going to need them for the next boss fight. And I end up beating the entire game, and I don't use any potions at all, right? Because I was saving them for the end, and I never used them because I didn't need them, right? But it would have been nice to use them in the meantime and not struggle. So this is that similar principle. Like, it'd be nice to use this loot box right now so I can advance a little quicker. But if I save them, I'll advance even quicker later. Right? Makes sense to me. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy an agency, though. Efficiently, it is the second most powerful thing to purchase efficiently wise. And will be the most powerful thing to purchase once I do hit my rep upgrade here. Which I don't think I'm getting 4,000 RP. But I think it probably would be worth it to use one loot box. It's just one loot box. I've got 30 in the bank. So let's get this agency. We'll see how much RP I have. All right, now how much is 5% now? 350-ish. 350 is worth how much? A treasury? A half a treasury? I mean, it's like I said, it scales. It does scale, but it does seem like building up for the doublers is way better than the efficiency stuff. It just seems to be the case. All right, so we just hit 6,000. No, we didn't hit it. And we're not even close enough to where if I open a loot box, it's only going to give me like 300. So a loot box isn't going to get me there either. Oh well. All right, so now we do some math here to determine what's worth it. This is 4,000. So 5,5. So this is 8,000 for this. $8,000 gets me 20% versus doubling the agencies. 20% is 3,400. Doubling the agencies is 7,200. See, it just doesn't make sense to double or to get the percentile stuff. This is just not good enough. Especially since I'm getting even more agencies by that time, in the meantime. All right, so now we're at 17,750. Let's try pushing to 20K as my next goal. Since the agencies aren't going to come for quite a bit of time until this hits 17, I might as well spend my money on the efficient stuff, which is the treasuries, actually. So that's twice. So this needs to be worth 2.6 million before it's the value of that. I can buy several treasuries. Oh, one more and I go past the 20K. I don't care. I don't care about hitting 20K here. Exactly. Let's do the right thing and just become efficient with numbers. Stuff still blowing up on my transport defender. Yep. Efficiently so. Another treasury. Wow, it takes a while to get there now. This is a slow one, this game. If I buy 3 more treasuries, I'm going to hit this right here. And and probably get 30 Chaos Emeralds, or who knows, maybe 50? Probably 30. Probably goes 30, 50, and then 100 maybe. I also could be clicking towards... Oh, how much is it for an agency again? Or treasury? Good, just in time. Boom. So now that this is... Nope, treasury is still more efficient. This needs to be, what, 5x? Oh, the mine is actually pretty good. Yeah, only having the one option right here to just double any building, only having this one option is pretty underwhelming. Not very tantalizing. The dopamines aren't as high as most other clicker and idle games. Even something from decades ago, the Cookie Clicker game, has... Now granted, that's been around for so long, it's had the time to have all these upgrades and patches and expansions and all that stuff to make the game what it is today, but... This game right here just feels... No, I wouldn't say rushed, just... The scope of it was like... So many other games out there are already better than this one. So... This one just didn't seem to have... It's basic. It's just outright basic, right? Not a lot of flares. And you know, maybe for some people that's fine, right? Like... Maybe people don't want all the big flashy things and the gazillions of numbers everywhere like the other game offered. Like, in a matter of minutes on Transport Defender, I was reaching billions of numbers. It's taken me 2 hours to hit the 20 million mark, right? Or the 40 million mark. So, like, the scope and scale of expanse on this game is quite less. So at that, perhaps this is that time where we put it behind us, literally. We set this game behind us. And we go to the next game. The Aqua Nimble. So there's not really much more to see here. It's time for it to be the idle game that it is designed to be, I think. And when we come back to it on the next stream, we'll have a lot of things we could potentially buy. And by a lot, I mean like 2 extractors, right? That's the kind of game this one seems to be. Maybe I'm just underutilizing my loot boxes to expand and expedite things. Maybe what it is like you loot box your way into these things so that you getting these things causes you to get more loot boxes so that you can loot box your way into the next things. Maybe I'm just playing it all wrong. Like, I feel like any regular sane person who uses their resources would be so much further along in this game than I am right now. But, you know, great things do come to those who wait. And I'm kind of okay with that. There's not much more for me to, especially since I'm going to be literally playing this game every single day, every single minute that I'm streaming. This game is going to be running, so I'm not in a hurry. This game will just play itself, right? Yeah, I like that. Click a few things and maybe we move on. How does that sound? Oh, but if I get one more treasury, I'll have the achievement. It's only one more treasury. It's only like, what? 2 minutes worth of waiting. Less than 2 minutes of waiting and we'll have a treasury. Oh, I did getting that extractor. Okay. Like, did I buy the extractor? Yeah, I did. It's the infuser now. All right, so let's see here. How much is the how long do I have to wait for an infuser as of right now? If I just sat here and spent all my money on one infuser, how long would that take? 240 million divided by 21,184 equals 11,329 seconds, which is the equivalent of 188. So 3 hours and 8 minutes from now, I will have enough money for an infuser. I don't know if I'm going to be playing Aqua Nimble for 3 hours tonight. Get out my controller. I don't know, but that's the wrong plug. There's the right plug. I think it's time to say goodnight to. However, I do want to have the money number moving. I think that would be fun. And if I have to cover up certain things to make that happen, then I do. That's okay. It'll be a little sloppy, but I'll change my overlay for next time to make it a little more interesting, a little easier to see. So let's try this. So bear with me for just a few seconds while I incorporate a new let's see here, money maker. Done. Have no fear. This is temporary. Oh, are you serious? Can I not go anymore? Okay, there we go. So it's gonna be a little sloppy. I could. You know what? Let's actually put it up here. I don't mind taking up a little bit of space. This is my space for donations, but I don't mind doing that for now. And if I get donations in a little bit for Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation, then they start to fill this up, I'll then move it. And what I can do is I can set it in a place where it will be behind that anyway, and it won't get in the way. Be considerate of that. Put you right there. Okay. You know what this means? This means it's time for us to move on to... Look at all these numbers. There's numbers everywhere. We've got time. Oh, pause my timer. Pause my timer. We got timers.